All right, it looks like we are in business. Okay, so again, for those that are just joining us, my name is Alicia Roybal. Throughout this session, we will have the chat available. Um, in the chat, because it is Katie and myself, Katie is our orientation coordinator. We are the ones that see all of your students coming through orientation. If you can keep questions to the current topic, at the end, we'll open it up for general Q&A. But I just want to make sure that we don't get anything missed. So here is our agenda for the day. And I might switch some of these things around, but for the most part, we will go over some campus health resources. I will introduce you to what the Learning Resource Center and TRIO offices are. We have some parent and family modules that go over a lot more information than I could cover in an hour. I will go over some important tuition deadlines and some questions that you all might have, as well as some welcome events for students that we really encourage folks to connect with, and then some family engagement opportunities for you all to stay connected to the university as well. So we'll go ahead and just get right on in. Okay, so campus house. And one thing I've been acknowledging and seeing over the 10 years plus I've been in orientation is parents have three basic questions typically. One is my student going to be okay? What resources are available? Are they going to make friends? Is number two. And then the third one is finances. Parents always want to know about finances. So we're going to start with the health information first. These are some key resources on campus that your students have access to. I will not say that they are free of charge because students already pay for these resources in their student fees. So I'm going to tell you that there is no additional cost for folks to use these. And I will pop in on these and show you the website so you can get familiar and navigate. And then we will also share these in an email later on this afternoon. But the first one, the most obvious campus health resource that we have is going to be our wellness center. And our wellness center, they believe in the seven dimensions of health, and they will go over financial wellness, mental wellness, physical wellness. It's a holistic viewpoint of them. So I'm gonna do a new share. And again, students have access to this. They already pay for it in their student fees. This is their main website, and basically, this is their one-stop shop to do everything. They have their single-stop shop where they can get counseling and advice from folks. They have group fitness activities. Their outdoor adventure shop is really cool. So students can go and rent outdoor camping equipment at minimum cost. I think it's, I don't know, somewhere between $20, $30. But they can rent that. But the Wellness Center also will take students out on camping tours. They would go hiking. There's lots of different things that they can do. They have their club sports. The nice thing about the Wellness Center is if there is a sport that is not offered that they would like to see happen, they only need 5 to 6 students to sign a petition saying that they want that sport, and they can start their own. So one example is one year a student was really into competitive weightlifting. We did not have a weightlifting team, and he started it, and that has been going strong for the last 4 years. So if they wanted to do a speed walking team, they can get that together. They just need folks that are interested in it. They do have their guidebook online as well, so I will put links in the chat to these also as I'm going through it. And you can bookmark these, but again, I will send them out in an email. But this goes over a robust, in-depth everything of what students can get. It talks a lot more about the outdoor adventures. They have some photos in there. There are lots of group fitness options. They have Zumba classes, yoga, cardio. So it really is a great resource. And then I mentioned the seven dimensions of wellness, but they also have our food pantry. So students that maybe experience food insecurity, maybe they forgot their wallet at home and they're hungry while they're here on campus. They can visit the food pantry and they have up to so many points per week that they could use, but that is a resource that is definitely available to students, and we definitely want to encourage that they use them. The next thing I'm going to go over is our counseling center. Our counseling center, excuse me, our counseling center offers students up to 10 sessions per year. Again, I'm not going to say it's free because it's already included in student fees, so they're already paying for it, but there is no additional cost. They do meet with students. The student can select if they want to meet with one of our graduate students. So our counseling center is a training facility. It is supervised by licensed counselors and psychologists. So a student can choose if they want to meet with one of the licensed counselors and psychologists. There might be a little bit longer of a wait list for that, or they can meet with one of our graduate students in the program who is working towards earning their licensure. If they choose to meet one of the graduate students, that is a supervised session. So they will not be getting unsupervised information. They do have checks and balances to make sure students are getting what they receive. Should a student run out of their 10 sessions, they can just work with whoever their counselor is, and they will not leave that person hanging out to dry. They will make sure that they are continuing to serve the needs as they can. But this is definitely available for them. They also do community counseling. So anyone that is a Denver resident, or if you have children that go to Denver public schools, they do have a sliding scale fee for non-CU Denver folks. So there is a lot of support that they provide their students. They also will go over testing and assessments. So anybody that may have a student that potentially gone through high school and maybe they didn't get diagnosed with a learning disability, or and you suspect that something might be going on, or your students like, I just don't know, I want to get tested. They do offer testing. The ranges you can see are from $400 to $450, and they go over all of these various testing and assessments. So learning disabilities, attention deficit disorder, behavioral disorders, all of those are included, and you can tell them what you are looking for. So it is costly, but this actually is a cheaper rate than other places outside of the campus. So if you were looking, and this is also again open to our community members, if you're looking to have someone go through testing to see if there might be something going on, this is available. Again, there is a little bit of a wait list for that. I think it takes about 2 months to get in. So the earlier is always better. The next thing we have on campus is going to be our Phoenix Center. And actually, let me put the link to this in the chat. So this is going to be counseling in the link. Next, we have our Phoenix Center. Phoenix Center is our department that assists students who have experienced or are currently experiencing interpersonal violence, and they do offer support and resources to those students. So they do have, this is a shared campus partner. So that means the Phoenix Center serves University of Colorado students, CCD, Community College of Denver students, and Metro State Politan students. They are tri-institutional campus. And really, um, if you go to their website, what they are really known for is their 24-hour crisis line. So they do have staff, and it's actually volunteer staff that give their time to students who are experiencing crisis. And they are open to call any time of day. If it's 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, 12 p.m., whenever, if a student needs to talk to somebody, it is a confidential conversation, and they do have 24/7 confidentiality crisis hotline. So they also are available for appointments. And again, if a student knows someone who's also experiencing interpersonal violence, they are welcome to meet with the Phoenix Center and talk through how they can be a support person for their friend, family, whomever it is that they are concerned about. They also can provide guidance for folks on how they can best assist the person they care for. So that is the Phoenix Center. I will again put this in the chat. Oh, thanks, Katie. She beat me to it. Okay, and then the next one we're going to review is our care team. Our care team is our campus assessment, response, and evaluation team. And they are really here. I always explain them as the office that we go to report something. So if you see something, say something office. And they are composed of a variety of different folks on campus. It includes our counseling center. It will have folks from case management, various departments that are support resources for students. And there's a long list of things that folks can report. And this is for students, faculty, and staff. So if someone might be experiencing signs of distress, maybe they're having erratic behavior, maybe someone was going to school every single day and then one day they just all of a sudden stopped going. If someone, you know, is excessive with classroom disruptions. There's lot of different things that you can do. But basically, students and even parents, you all can go on here if you have a concern about your student and you can submit a concern. Every single concern gets looked at. They will not always respond to you and let you know the outcome of your submission because of privacy and HIPAA, but they may reach out to you for some context. They might want a little bit more additional information. They want to maybe hear more of a timeline or have some follow-up questions, but they might not be able to give you the exact outcome of what happened with your concern. You can call, you can submit a concern online. We do have our Auraria Police Department that is on campus as well, that does assist when they need to be called in. And again, they have some FAQs, but anyone can submit a concern. It can be anonymous if you choose to stay anonymous. It will ask sometime, or it will ask if you are comfortable putting your name. If you are, you can insert your name, but if you do want to stay anonymous, you can collect that or insert that. And again, every single submission does get looked at, and they are all taken very seriously. The next department that we have on campus is going to be, our case management team. Katie did just put the link for the care list, the care website in the chat. Case management works very closely with our care team. They work closely with the counseling center as well, and they fall under our Dean of Students office. They oversee our medical withdrawal program. So we do have medical withdrawal, and medical withdrawal is really in place for students that need it. Maybe they, I don't know, have something that prevents them from continuing their semester. So they get an illness, maybe they break an arm, a leg, maybe they just got severe anxiety and could not move forward, or they fell through depression and could not move forward with their classes. They can apply for a medical withdrawal. If medical withdrawal is approved, students will be withdrawn from their classes, and in some cases they will also could be eligible for tuition reimbursement on that. Not everybody does get the tuition reimbursement, but what medical withdrawal does is it drops students from their class in a way that does not affect their GPA. And so, again, this is really important for students to know about. As parents, you all are our number one resource and referral to folks. So it's important that you know about this. So again, with medical withdrawal falls under case management. Case manager also will do wellness checks on students. So if you have a student that might be living in housing, or if you have a student that's coming to campus and maybe they're living at home and they're just not communicating with you. Our case management team can also do a wellness check on folks and just check in, say, hi, how are you doing? Is everything going okay? And they are known to do that quite often. And I do see a chat. I heard there's a self-defense class offered to students. Is that true? Not, oh, let's see. Occasionally, yep, Katie answered it. So yes, not always. So occasionally there is self-defense classes offered. Our um emergency management department on campus, they will also offer different types of classes. So they will do things like stop the bleed, they will do CPR, although they don't give the certifications out to folks. They will do, a 1 2 hour class so folks can learn the skills on CPR. And occasionally they will also have a self-defense class too. So the wellness center, if there ever is a self-defense class on campus, it would be through them. And our emergency management folks, when they do it, they always email campus wide for folks to sign up and participate in those. Let's see, is medical care also provided at the wellness center, prescription refill? That is actually a great question. So we do not have the medical care at the wellness center. We do have our Auraria Health Center. Katie, if you want to put that link in the chat for the health center. The health center does have doctors and nurses over there. You do need to visit their website to see which insurances they do accept, but they do have a wide variety of insurance that they accept, and they can get prescriptions refilled at the wellness center. Another common question that we get is, do we offer health insurance to students? And it's a yes or no question. If students are international students, we do require them get health care through the health center. If anyone is living domestic or stateside, we do not offer health insurance to students that are not international. We used to about a decade ago, but the premiums and the rates were outrageous, and it was actually a disservice trying to make students pay that much. So we do not offer that for students that are not international. That's a great question. Okay. So those are the health resources. And again, everything is included in student fees. There's no additional costs. The next thing I want to point out to you all is our Learning Resource Center. Learning Resource Center is actually our tutoring office. And so they offer virtual and in-person services. So that can be a couple of different things. It could be the peer tutoring meeting on Zoom. A lot of times peer tutoring is also best done in person. So there's a lot of in-person tutoring for that. They do peer guided sessions. So that's usually taught by someone who excelled in a class. They got an A, they just grasped the concept really well, and they are able to help others study for that specific class. They also do have a 24/7 online tutoring option for students. So I'm going to show y'all that site next. Tutoring is if you can talk with your students at the grade school level, at the high school level, tutoring is sometimes looked down upon. It's a you're not doing well, we have to get you tutoring to get you caught up. At the college level, tutoring is actually proactive. I always explain it, it's like healthcare. You go and you visit your doctors for preventative action, right? Tutoring at our level in college is the same exact thing. If a student is ever nervous about what classes they're going to take, maybe they're not feeling as confident, we encourage them to meet with a tutor early on. We want them to get connected. We do not want them to get to a point where they're like, oh, now I'm failing this class. I need to get caught up. It does not work that way at the college level. If they wait until mid semester and they're, have a D or they're failing a class, most faculty will not allow students to resubmit past work or redo test scores that have already happened. They will work with them. They might try to give them some extra credit and extra assignment to bring up their grade. But if a student has waited 2 months to get some help for the class they're struggling with, a lot of times it's almost too late. We want to get them in early. So again, they do have the online, but the one that folks are really interested is this online, and they use BrainFuse. And students have up to 3 hours of virtual tutoring each week. And BrainFuse has everything. They have math, chemistry, biology, psychology. You can get so many different topics from BrainFuse. And again, if they are late birds and they want to do some tutoring at 12 a.m., 3 a.m. in the morning, it's available. It's open 24/7. We also have our writing center that's available. So our learning resource center and our writing center, they're all part of what we call the learning hub. Writing center is great. They will not help the student write the paper, right? They want to give them the tools so that they can be successful in submission of their papers. So what happens is a student will typically write their paper, they will submit it to the writing center, and the writing center will provide feedback and they will provide guidance on what things were missing, or where did you find this quote from. You need to cite it in your work. They also have their undergraduate Dropbox. So that's going to be the second one. So students work, they go to school, they have to study. Maybe their schedule does not align to do a one-on-one meeting with the Writing Center. They could use this online Dropbox where they basically upload the paper that they want feedback on, and the Writing Center will provide feedback on that paper. So then the student can look at that when it best fits their schedule. And then there's also the math and stats support. So you can always click on here, find out when the tutoring times specific for math are. We always see students down there again, especially if anyone's going into um, engineering, the health careers track that they want. There's going to be a lot of math, a lot of science. Get them connected early. Learning resource and oops, I think I'm not sharing this screen. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm still on my resource page. Wait, there we go. This is what I was trying to show you on the website. So again, everything is located here. They're able to get everything that they need. And they can click on more. This async is going to be a little bit, just click on that. That is going to be more specific for our genetics. So folks, again, that are maybe our biology majors going into the health field, this will be a little bit more specific for them. But you can always click on everything. The individualized coaching, they will go over study skills, time management, lots of different things to help students be successful while they are in college. Now that brings me to our TRIO office. TRIO is a great resource for students as well. We have two programs with TRIO. There's our student support services, and they help first generation, low income students and students with disabilities really to help navigate the college system. They are a support system for them. They help them get connected. They do only have limited spots available for participation in these programs, but it really is a great small community for folks to go and get just additional support and mentorship as well. Mentorship is a huge part of what TRIO does. The other part of TRIO is going to be the McNair's Scholar Program. So if you have a student that is interested in going to graduate school or even going into a doctorate program, you are going to want to refer them to TRIO. TRIO really does help students navigate from undergraduate. So they do need to be at least a sophomore student to join McNair because they need to work with them to prepare for the graduate applications, graduate programs. TRIO also does some really intense research opportunities with their students. So more recently on campus, we have a research symposium. And that research symposium, these TRIO students were able to showcase what they were researching. So they did whole huge poster boards, they did presentations, some of them. They even went on a trip. I think they went to some of them went to DC and did their presentations in DC. So Trio, again, they are great to get connected to. And it's really easy to fill out the form. So on their website, and this is their website, it goes over some of those things I told you. The peer mentoring, again, more tutor assistance. The graduate program, again, if anyone's interested in graduate school or even eventually a doctorate program, this is a great program for them to get connected to. And there should be on their Trio SSS page, this is what I was trying to find. It goes over more of the eligibility, but now you can also apply online. So right now there is currently a wait list, but we have students that graduate every fall. We have students that graduate every spring. So when students do get put on the wait list for Trio, a lot of times it's only for maybe the first year, and then they can be absorbed into the program. All right, I'm going to pause for a moment. Does anyone have any questions so far about those specific resources? Okay, let's see. Is Trio offered for my kids coming to your school? Yes, so if you do have a degree, your children would count as second generation. All right, I'm going to switch a little bit of gears from campus resources. And I want to talk to you all about important dates and a little bit about billing as well, because I know folks are going to have questions about billing. So, your students get this information when they attend their Zoom session at orientation. I tell them to write it down, I tell them to take a picture of it, screenshot it. So, same for you all. Take a picture, screenshot this page. These are really just important dates as they pertain to the start of the semester. Um, but your students, even though they are registering for classes now, they will not be able to view their bill until the first week of August. Students can log into their student portal. There's a big tile that has a dollar sign next to it, and that's where they can see and view their bill. But they will not be able to view their bill until the first week of August. After I show you these dates, I will also go over the Bursar website to show you the tuition table so you can do an estimate, a little bit of math to see what tuition might be costing them. The first day of fall classes is going to be August 19th. That is a Monday, and that's when we will all be on campus. We're so excited. So important. So these 3 dates really will pertain to late fees. So August 26th, that is going to be the last day a student can drop a class without being charged $100 to drop that class. If they drop a class after August 26th, they will be charged $100 to drop. I always tell folks tuition's already expensive. I do not want them paying more than they already are. September 4th, that is going to be the last day to drop a class without owing full tuition. They will still be charged the $100 drop fee, but if a student drops a class after September 4th, they will be expected to pay full tuition for a class they are not getting credit for. And folks do try to do tuition appeals. A lot of times it does get denied. So if they drop a class after September 4th, they will pay full tuition for a class that they are not getting credit for. And then September 6th, if a student does not have a payment plan on file, tuition will be due in full on September 6th. That is a Friday. It's about 2.5 weeks into the semester. And with the payment plans, there is a $40 fee per semester to set up a payment plan. And you can do up to 4 installments. If students set up their payment plan that first week of August, the first payment will come out on the 20th of August. It's always the 20th of every month. So it'll be the 20th of August, the 20th of September, October and November 20th. All right, I am going to share with you. So for those of you who are interested in doing some calculation of what tuition could potentially cost and look like in the fall, I'm going to pull up the undergraduate fees page. Oops, let's see, I have some question. All right, here's the fees page. I'm going to put this in the chat. And I'll also apologize. My chat was closed while my screen was sharing. So let me review who we got. The payment plan. So the payment plan is set up through the student portal. And I can show you guys a look of the student portal as we get to the end. But basically, a student would click on the View Pay My Bill link. It takes you to the billing system. In the billing system, there is the option to set up the payment plan. You cannot miss it. Another question, do you have dates for professional judgments for financial aid? You know, financial aid is it's not set in stone as far as specific dates. The earlier that students submit their aid, their application, the better, because if they get requested for additional aid verification and documents, they can submit those sooner. Really, it's for students to be awarded, they are going through the award process. I will let you know because the federal government did revamp the entire application for FAFSA. That did set back most institution months. And so I do know that CU Denver had not started to award students until about 2 weeks ago. So if your student has submitted their FAFSA and it has not been awarded, I do encourage you to have them reach out to financial aid. A couple of things, sometimes students do forget to put the CU Denver code on their application, so make sure they have the code on there. If we do not have the social security number, because we do not require that on the admissions application, sometimes a social security number is missing. And so just reach out to financial aid and they'll be able to do a deeper look and see where you're at in what I call the financial aid limbo. Okay, so what I'm showing you now is the tuition and fees page. This is the timetable. So as you will see, this is the rates for 2023, 2024. By the end of this month, they will have the 2024, 2025 rates appear and posted. So what you're going to want to do is this will just be an estimate. But if your student is a Colorado resident, you are going to want to look at the COF stipend amount because we do want students to complete the College Opportunity Fund. Later this month, we will be emailing everybody with instructions on how to authorize their COF, but this will be the rate. If your student is not a business student, if they are not an engineering student, and if they are not a digital design, you will go by the standard rate, and this will be per credit hour. So if you have a student that is full-time, 12 credits is full-time for financial aid purposes. 12 credits will not get students graduated though in 4 years. If a student wants to graduate in 4 years, they do need to take 15 credit hours. 15 credit hours is about 5 classes. If they are non-resident students, so maybe you're from New Jersey and you're out of state, you will go by the, you will go by the non-resident rate. So it's a little bit more pricey, non-residents. And then this is only if they're taking online classes, so be careful you're reading carefully. And then our international students also have a different rate. So this will give you a good estimate. So if you have a student that's taking 16 credit hours and they're a Colorado resident, you would do 16 times 379. That'll give you an estimate of what the tuition is. If you go down to the fees, there are some additional fees. I'd estimate about $500 or so in fees, if that. There's always this campus fee. So this is going to be per term. You're going to want to look at that. Student services, this will be per term. And this goes to all of those resources, and that not all of them, but some of them that I have already showed you. So this goes for, you see the counseling center in there, our LGBTQ student resource center, our campus community. It goes for our peer advocate, orientation leaders. So this $185 fee goes to cover everything that students receive. And then there is the one-time fee. This is the matriculation fee for new students. So you'll pay attention to that. And then you would want to look at the instructional program fees because there are some additional fees. Sometimes it just depends on where the student is coming from. So architecture and planning students, for example, will have a $35 fee per credit hour. So again, I just want you to know this is a way for you to estimate. This is not the official tuition table for fall 2024. This is the current rate for the 23-24 season, but this is a great way for you to estimate. All right, let's take a look at the chat. Let's see. Are letters being sent for financial aid or is it just online? They do not mail letters out for financial aid. Students will get emails and then they can also log into their student portal and look at their student portal. Move-in date is going to be August 13th. That will be a Tuesday. And students will receive communication from housing on how to select their move-in time on August 13th. For the CAM program, it's going to be the standard. So is a question, what are tuition rates for a CAM program? Unless the student is a digital animation student, the rest of the arts and media programs will follow the standard tuition cost. Who can we confirm if we are considered resident or out of state? You should be able to confirm with the admissions counselor. They can look into that, or you can contact the registrar office. I see Katie did put that in there as well. Our daughter is non-resident, CAM animation. Where can we find that? So yes, for non-resident animation program, that's going to be this digital animation, and it will be the non-resident fee right at the very bottom. Classes for in-state students. So online classes for in-state students, online classes are going to follow the standard rates. Again, unless it's business engineering, engineering doesn't have too many online classes, but you will follow as long as they've done the COF, you will do the resident after COF rate. Yes, the numbers are per credit hour. That is correct. So all of these numbers you see would be per credit hour. Yes, that is correct. The student does need to apply for COF to get the reduced rate, and COF only does apply to Colorado residents, so they do need to be a resident. All right, for a move-in date, is there a parent program on the 13th for out of states? We do. I actually am going to go over some parent dates and programs available to you. So we will go over those here in just a little bit. And then one more question, student orientation dates for out of state. Yeah, so out of state students, they will get the same orientation day option. So orientation for first year students is a two-part process. They will first complete their Zoom session online. That is going to be where they meet one-on-one with an academic advisor. We get them registered for their classes. And then we also have them do our Just Ask Me session, where one of our current students goes over some key functions of their student portal, make sure they're able to access their email. They took a look at their degree audit. For the graduate rate, that is going to be a different website. So graduate students have their own rates and fees. And let me get that link for the person that was just asking about graduate. And again, the graduate tuition page is only going to have the current information. It will be updated later this month with the fall 2024 rates. Okay, I am going to show you all our family modules. So we do have some family modules that are available for folks. And let me show you what that looks like. And those will go over a lot of information that you are getting today, but it'll also go over additional information and that you can always follow up when needed. So this is going to be the login, and we will get everyone access to the login, or actually to set up your own account. I'm going to do the student view. All right. So this is our family online module pages that we have. I'm not going to go through what each one is. Y'all can do that. That's what these are for. But it will give you an outline. It'll go over what first year students experience, what transfer students experience. But one of the things that we do have on here is FERPA, and this is one page that I am going to click on for you. So it has some cliff notes on what FERPA is, but as parents, you all really need to be aware that at the college level, people on campus are not going to be very willing to talk with you. Your students, if you want to be able to call financial aid, if you want to be able to call Bursar, if you want to be able to call and get any information about your student needs to complete the FERPA release form, and that is only done in the student portal, but they need to do that there. And then you will be given a a password basically. So anytime that you call an office, maybe you wanted to call financial aid or talk to the Bursar, if they have the FERPA release, they'll say, I see you have a release. What is your password? And you'll have to know the password in order for them to talk to you. Other than that, you're going to get a lot of hit a lot of walls trying to talk to folks because it really is the student. Everything is tied to the student. So it does go over things like FERPA. These modules will also go over some billing information, the link to the academic calendar. Again, we were talking a lot about College Opportunity Fund. It has the link to the website. If folks still need to do that application, a lot of times it's transfer students that might need to do that. Most times in high school in Colorado, a lot of the counselors at the high school level have students do that. It will go over loan types, Federal Plus loan, some scholarship information, what advising looks like at CU Denver. It talks about the Wellness Center, our area police department, some city heights information, and then there's also information for commuter students on this as well. So I do acknowledge that not everybody is going to be living on campus, and we do have some commuter students information and resources this is also managed by our housing. Some other things on here that might be of interest for you. We do have additional resources, first year experience. Links Connect. This is a great resource for our students, and students actually have access to Links Connect for a year after they graduate. But they are basically where folks can go for internships, campus jobs. They have study abroad through this area, as well as research. So they are a great place for students to start really building a resume and being competitive in the workforce. So go back down. If there is one resource that I would like for you all to know about, it is going to be Links Central. Link Central is the absolute one-stop shop. They have a website online that you can do everything. They also have an office where folks can just go. This is where students will start with financial aid questions, billing questions, registrar questions, and resources and referrals as well. Okay. So again, before we wrap up today, I will give you the link to access these modules. And can set up a free account. It does not charge you anything to set up accounts. And we are just available to give you, again, access to what you need to know. So let me check on the chat one more time. Katie, thank you. You're responding swiftly. There's one question. When do students have their individual orientation? So students will have their Zoom session. So that depends on what they signed up for. So we have started these Zoom sessions and they are going all the way through early August. And in that session is when a student will have their individualized advising appointment. So they do need to sign up for their Zoom session. The student can always email orientation@ucdenver.edu, and we're happy to check and confirm their dates. A lot of times they sign up and they forget, but we also do send them reminder emails. So they'll get a reminder email and text the week before. I think it goes out 3 or 4 days before, and then the day before. So we try to remind them as many times as often. When should out-of-state students and parents plan to arrive, leave? What do they do? That is a great question. So it depends. That's really a family dynamic question. You can get here as early as possible. Again, move-in is not until the 13th, so I wouldn't imagine you be here maybe 2 days, but potentially the day before you can get here, spend some time. That night of August 13th or that afternoon, we will have a family welcome that will be on campus. So you will be able to come. You'll meet other families. We do not have students there, except for a couple of our student staff who will be working the event with us. But we will have a time for you in that afternoon. And that will also help you fill some time because your students on August 13th will have a mandatory housing meeting in the wellness center. So while students are doing their mandatory housing meeting, we welcome you to come and do the family welcome with us. And then y'all can maybe have dinner with your student afterwards, whatever that looks like for you. We also, during that day of move-in, we will have a table and tent set up. We call it our family hub, and we'll have some snacks and goodies. You all are welcome to take some care packages and put those together for your students. We have various items that you can put together. So that whole day, move-in is quite busy. A lot of folks do end up getting their student moved in, and then they're like, okay, let's go to the nearest Target or Walmart, and they get some of those last minute things that they needed. But then during that first week, we do have lots of things going on for students. So I'm going to reshare. So the week before the semester begins, so starting August 16th, we will have so many different events for students. August 16th will actually be something similar to this. We'll have a Zoom meeting for families and students, and they will go over the various events that are happening for folks to get engaged with. That Tuesday, August 13th, we will have, oh, there's a typo on this one. August 13th will be move-in. Your students, however, on August 14th, they are going to do their in-person orientation session. So anybody who will be living on campus on August 14th, they will have their in-person session. There's about 500 students that will be there. It is a little bit more of a conference style, so students can pick and choose certain things that they're going to learn about. They will be able to get their student planner. We do hand out planners for that week, but it's more of an engaging opportunity. The Zoom sessions, it's all about meeting with an advisor, registering. There's not a whole lot of time and space in that session for them to meet and connect with other students. That's what that in-person session is for. And then the parents do not need to attend the in-person orientation. In fact, we actually don't have room for parents because of all of the students that are there. So you do not need to attend that one. You can, if you're planning on being here on the 14th still, I welcome you to just enjoy Denver, maybe go downtown on 16th Street. They did just remodel it and it's about halfway done. But you can maybe have a little bit of time for yourself and before you have to leave. Yes, that is great, Amina. You bring me to my next point. So Off campus, so anyone that is a commuter students, you will be coming to orientation on August 9th. That is a Friday. August 9th is their in-person session. And then housing is going to be August 14th. If your student is going to be, Julia, are you from out of state? If your student is coming in from out of state, then I would recommend they come to the August 13th session. Yes, yes, then have your student plan on coming to August 13th. As long as you're here by then. If you're not here by then, that's okay. We have some similar online modules that we will give your students, and your student will be able to participate in other events throughout the start of the semester. So our welcome events do include the in-person session of orientation. That Thursday afterward, there's going to be a movie on the quad. There's going to be, I call it like a connect to campus. They'll be able to pick and choose different workshops and just activities that they can do during that day. And then that Friday of move-in, so let's see, Friday, August 16th, is going to be convocation. That is, if graduation is your end of college, convocation is the beginning of college. And so we'll have lunch for them. They'll again get to meet there. I think there's almost like 900 students that come to that day. So they'll meet a lot of different people. And it's just kind of a fun day to de-stress before the semester starts. Once the semester starts on August 19th, that week on Thursday is our annual block party. So anyone who might still be here, or if you're locally located in Denver, you are also welcome to attend the block party. It is open to the community. The university does close off the street, Lawrence Street, between Spear and 14th. So that whole block is blocked off, and there's games. All of the departments have things that folks can do. There's food trucks, there's music, there's live bands that play all day long. So that's a fun sort of distress thing that folks can do as well. Okay, so we are interested in housing for my son. How do we guarantee a spot if we wait now? So if you are interested in your student living on campus for housing, I do encourage you to complete the application sooner than later. So I know that they are starting to do roommate matching now. That information will be available to students, if not later this month, early July. And that doing the application now will guarantee your spot. Once you submit it, you're actually submitting the contract. So I should really say starting your contract, because it's not an application. So once you start your contract and once you submit your contract, when you click submit, you're actually saying, yes, I want to live on housing. And that will guarantee your spot. Unless you hear otherwise that you are on a wait list or you have not been housed, for the most part, I do know there are still some beds available. So if you do get it in now, you will be guaranteed a housing spot. Mm, which, oh, block party. Block party is going to be, let's see, 19th, the 22nd. Out of state students, so you would really need to connect with the housing office if you needed a different move-in date other than the 13th of August. I do know that they do have conferences all summer long. So, like for instance, this week they just started the Arts and Media Links Camp. And so they do things like that all summer long. So it really does depend on if there's any camps that are going and if they're able to get the room ready a week before. But that is more of a question for the housing office. And we can put the housing at ucdenver.edu in the chat, and they'll be able to get that question answered. All right, the housing application. Katie, if you can please post the link for the housing application. That is done online, and your students do need their CU Denver email to do the application. Good question. How is high school AP test credit applied? Oh, I'm glad you all asked this. So if your student took AP credits or IB credits in high school, they need to make sure that they've contacted College Board to get those submitted to CU Denver. CU Denver will not receive the AP, yes, and same with concurrent classes, yes. So actually I'll go over concurrent class in just a minute. So AP, IB, and CLEP work. You need to request those from College Board to be sent to CU Denver. CU Denver will not receive those test scores until the the end of the first week of July. So we get those test scores in July. Those test scores, it'll take a few days for them to get uploaded to the student's degree audit, and it should be reflected in the degree audit. And so we talk to students about this, advisors talk to students about this for the most part. They do know that we're waiting for test scores to get to us in July. And we unfortunately cannot get, that's a College Board thing. If your student took college classes, so maybe they did it either through a pre-collegiate program at CU, or maybe they did a community college classes while they were in high school, your student needs to submit the transcripts from the community college or the university. So if your student took college coursework through Boulder, CU Denver, or UCCS, which is Colorado Springs, if they took classwork anywhere within our system, we already have those on their record. They don't have to submit anything from Boulder, Springs, or the Denver campus. But if they took classes from Front Range or CCD, Red Rocks, anywhere else, we need you to make sure they submit those transcripts to the admissions office. And that's the only way they'll be able to get credit for that. It gets confusing because I know you can see college coursework on the high school transcript. We need it from the actual institution. That is a great question. All right, and we're reaching our Q&As. What other questions do y'all have maybe about oh, yes, the link to the modules. Absolutely. All right. In this chat, I did just put the link to the modules. And so you can click on that. It will encourage you to create your free account first, and then you'll be able to access those. Credits from Community College of Denver. No, those credits from Community College of Denver or CCD are not applied automatically. There are some guaranteed transfer articulation agreements that we have. So there are a lot of classes. In fact, most classes from any community college are pretty much guaranteed to transfer in, but we need the transcripts in order to provide that guarantee. Any accommodations for students with celiac? That is a great question. So students, whether they're living on campus or if they are commuter students, every student and even faculty and staff can purchase a commuter meal plan from our housing and dining. Housing and dining does have a nutritionist on staff that they welcome students to meet with and schedule an appointment with. But within the dining hall, they do a great job of meeting all dietary needs. So whether your student has celiac, if they might be vegan, vegetarian, gluten options are available. They do provide just about everything that can fit all student needs. So I do encourage them if they do have some specific food accommodations that they need, I would recommend a commuter meal plan, and then they'll have a variety and they could be guaranteed to have something on campus that will fit their lifestyle. When do we find out about housing? We signed a contract a few months ago for the dorm, but have not heard anything. All right, Gigi, if you signed the contract a few months ago, I am confident in saying your student has a room. They should always be checking the CU Denver email as well as the housing portal. A lot of updates do get put in the portal. The portal is actually where they will eventually see their room number. They will see who they are matched with as a roommate as well. And if you've not heard anything, you can always email housing@ucdenver.edu. and they will be able to take a closer look at that. Um, let's see, accommodations. Do they still register for 12 credits per semester if they have previous coursework? Yeah, like Katie said, that's something that they would discuss with their advisor. Again, it depends on what a student wants their timeline to also be. If a student wants to graduate within a 4-year time frame, they're going to want to take those 12 credits every semester or even the 15 credits every semester. If a student is coming in with previous coursework, they have the opportunity to even graduate early. So they don't have to be here for 4 years if they don't want to or if they don't have to. But that's really, again, something that I think is hard for students is that we are not telling them what they have to do. It's very different than high school if you have to take this class, and you get to choose maybe if you want, I don't know, weightlifting or pottery, right? They really have full autonomy to pick their own schedule and move at the pace that will support them to be successful. So we do have quite a few students that will only take 12 credits. There are some students that come in and they have their own children and they have jobs and they might be caring for a family member and they take 6 credits, which is about 2 or 3 classes. So again, it depends on what the student's plan is and what it would look like for them to be successful. When do dorms and classes close for Thanksgiving and winter break? Looking at flights. Oh, okay, that we can take a look. So this is something that always comes up on our parent Facebook of when this campus or when dorms are closed for Thanksgiving and winter break, usually the dining hall is also closed as well. And that is quite standard across housing and dining all over the nation. But in the chat, I will put a link to the calendar. Oops, actually, I already have it up. All right, so here is the link to the academic calendar. It is on the webpage. As I do tell students, this first page is not my favorite to look at. It's just my eyes struggle. So I'm trying to go down without making folks sick. But fall break is going to be November 21st through December, or sorry, November 25th through December 1st. So that is when the dining hall will also be closed. Campus will only be closed for the 28th. Have your students keep an eye on their email. Sometimes they do close campus the day after Thanksgiving. But if you scroll down to the bottom, the end of the semester will be December 14th. So that's also something for folks that are living in housing. If you look at the housing handbook, it will specify that a student needs to move out 24 hours after their last final. And at the very latest, the that Saturday will be the absolute latest that a student can move out, but that's also in the handbook. So winter break will be really December 15th until the spring semester starts. And then this I know this says winter break right here, but this is when the campus will be closed, the 25th. But as I was keep going and forgetting, I actually like the PDF view of the academic calendar. If you go to the bottom, you get all the PDF views. It just, my eyes like this better. And it gives you more information. So this does have those dates that I gave you earlier. The wording is just a little bit different. So as I told you, September 4th, that is going to be the last day to drop a class without owing full tuition. They say it as, what do they say? They say last day to drop a fall class with a financial adjustment. That basically means you will still be charged the $100 drop fee, but after September 4th, you will be expected to pay full tuition for the class. But this has all of that information that I went over earlier. and more. So if a student, if you take a look at this, October 27th is the last day that they can request a class be taken as a pass fail. So these are typically used for the core classes, and you can only do up to so many credits. But let's say your student is taking their English comp class and they've got a solid D and it's just not working for them, they can request that class be taken as pass fail. So then on their transcript, instead of them getting a D or maybe a really low C, on their transcript, it will show them as passing because D's will be a passing grade. It has to be a high D. But that would be a situation. And again, you only have so many limited uses for that. It will also tell you when finals week are. So finals week will be the 9th through the 14th, and when commencement is. So if anyone has current students that are on campus, maybe graduating in the fall, that will be on the 14th. So that's a great question. Yes, I did say dining halls are closed during Thanksgiving break. So if the student wishes to stay for the holiday winter break, will they have to move out temporarily or can they stay in their dorm? Oh, you guys are bringing all the great ones coming out. So we do have students, and if your student is living in or in City Heights, and if they want to stay or if they're not going home over the winter break, they need to communicate that with housing, and housing will move them over into Links Crossing only during winter break. So they don't need to completely move all of their stuff out of their dorm. They just need to take their essentials and things that they would want. And that is a safety reason because there's not as much staff. Well, there's not staff on campus, so they're able to centrally locate students. But yes, students can stay on campus, but do please just be prepared that the dining halls will be closed during any of those breaks. And again, that is usually standard in the housing world in college. Oh, part-time jobs. Yes, if someone wants to do a part-time job, have your student log into their portal, look at Handshake. Yes. So a lot of the things you do need to have your student with you. Um, it's going to be hard for you to do anything really without their permission now. It's kind of an interesting change of events, right? I did just see a question about email. So someone was saying that they could not log into the email. Email can be a little bit tricky. I do recommend that the student log into the UCD Access. At the bottom of the main page of their UCD Access, there is a blue webmail link. When you click on that, you typically get an Outlook box that populates. In the Outlook box, they need to put the CU Denver email. If your student does not know the CU Denver email, they can always email the orientation office. We're happy to help share that with them. But we also, if your student has not gone through orientation yet, that's one of the things that we make sure they access at orientation as well. So when they do their Zoom session, we will specifically walk through and make sure everyone can access their email. Let's see. Yes, and for the handshake for the job search, they do need to be a CU Denver student and log in using their CU Denver credentials. And a little tidbit, once a student is registered for fall classes, they can actually start looking for a campus job immediately after they register. I actually do recommend that if someone wanted to work on campus, that they start looking over the summer months. When they wait for the fall to start, most offices have already hired their staff over the summer so they can be ready for the big fall start. So I do, once they register, if they wanted a campus job, they can. And Katie, remind me, our minimum wage is 18.29 per hour.
18.29 an hour.
18.29. So anyone that is going to be getting an on-campus job, they will be compensated. Not like, well, it's nice. I made 750 when I was in college, so it's not too bad to work on campus. And all of the offices on campus understand that students are here for school and for their education. So they are more lenient with those schedule changes. Whereas if they work at, I don't know, the local grocery store or retail store, if they work at a bank, it's a lot harder to change your schedule every semester to correspond with your work or with your school schedule. So if they work on campus, most, if not all campus jobs are very flexible with students. Are students able to change their names in the student email? My kiddo, yes, is trans, but their legal name hasn't been changed. Absolutely. We can do a couple of things. So we want to make sure that students have the name that they want to go by on their what we call their student record. I'll just call it that. We want to make sure that their name is on their student record. So when they go to their classes and their faculty has their class list, it's the name that they want to be called by. That's one of the things that we want to make sure that they have. The other thing is they absolutely can contact the IT department, but we need to make sure that their student record is updated with the name before they go to IT, because their IT will look at that and they want it to be consistent. But yes, and please have them reach out to orientation if they need a little bit of assistance with that. Not their preferred name. Yes, if y'all want to email the orientation office and copy your students on that email, we are happy to help get them through. Actually, Katie is very familiar with that process. When she first started, um, she changed her name. It's Catherine. And she's like, nope, it's gonna be Katie. So yes, please send them our way. We're here to help the students. Not a problem. All right. What other questions do folks have? Kind of covered a lot today. We have about 15-ish minutes left. You know, Debbie, we actually, Katie and I can assist with some of the student portal access issues. Sometimes the students are not using the correct username. Sometimes the email has expired. Um, or they just forgot the email because they got a new computer and it was saved on the old device. So if your student emails orientation, or if you email us and CC your student, we can help get them into their portal. That is one of the things that we do. So students can't register for classes until after. They will actually register for classes at their orientation. So they will meet with their advisor. Once they've met with an advisor, one of our students, we call them orientation leaders, they help the new students navigate the system, pick out the schedule. And then Katie and I are at all those sessions, and we help troubleshoot any issues that they might have. So if they have a hold on their account, if for some reason they're not able to register for certain classes, we do assist them. And we also will do follow-up meetings with students. So if a student is just having a heck of a time getting their schedule while they're with us at their orientation, we are more than open to set up a follow appointment with them the next week or within the next couple of days to make sure that we rearrange and get their schedule as needed. So students will have their own individual, yes, students do have their own orientation. And we go over a lot of the same information with them. We do have a link for nearby. So our housing and dining does the commuter student link. And so we can definitely post that link for commuter students in Denver. And we can put that in there and they're able to maybe try to find a roommate, get off campus resources. I did just put that link in the chat. All right, one more thing that as we are kind of talking that I did forget to bring up, I want to go over our disability resources with you all real quick while I got you here. We encourage students to connect early with our disability resources and services. So we'll put the link to this in the chat. And if your student had an IEP or a 504 plan in high school, I definitely want you to help them get connected. The first thing to make this process a little bit easier or quicker for you all, you visit our website, and your student would first want to click on the bottom link for the Accommodate system. They need to first set up a profile in the Accommodate system. If they click on here, it takes them to a new page, and then they would fill out the new students to register here. This will get them into the system and on the radar of our disability resources and services. And things that they could get could be testing accommodation. So they could get longer test taking time. They could get quiet rooms so they can be an individual in a room with no disruptions. They can have tests read to them. They can get alternative format approval. They can get approval to record lectures. There's various things of what accommodations can look like. But if your student did have an IEP or a 504 in high school, please, please, please make sure that you get them connected earlier. They don't have to use it, but it is a process, and it's better to get these accommodations set up before the semester starts rather than trying to navigate when the semester starts. All right. Let's see. I see some more things. We have been in touch. Yes, she's been the new director for about a year. I will tell you all, she is amazing. We were just at an event with her the other day, and she's always so mindful of what she does and how she interacts with folks. For Thanksgiving break, does the student need to vacate the dorm for those 5 days? And is the cafeteria open? Yeah, they will be relocated to a different dorm, and the cafeteria will be closed. A lot of times during that week, if they're not able to go home, they make friends with local students. And so a lot of times their friends that live locally will invite them to have Thanksgiving dinner. Sometimes they'll do the Friendsgiving thing. Sometimes, if a student is just burnt out and all they want to do is sleep, families will sometimes like like Uber food over to them. So there are some options, but a lot of times they do meet people on campus that live locally and they get invited to family meals. Yep, this posting will be recorded, or this recording will be posted on the family website. So look for that. Roommates are picked by a survey. So housing does the best that they can. All of the students complete a survey, and the housing folks will match based on survey responses. If you have a student that knows they want to live with someone on housing, your student will email the housing office, and they will say, I want a room with Katie Kane. Please make sure Katie Kane and I room together. But then also Katie needs to email housing and say, I want to room with Alicia Roybal. Please make sure that we room together. Both of the students need to send the email to make sure that they get roomed together. If only one student does it, that won't guarantee that they get placed with the person that they want. Please add the link. Yes, we will put, oh, Katie just posted the link to disability resources. And then she also just posted the link to the roommate matching process and overview. All right, so the last thing I want to share with you all, I want to be mindful of time. We do have a parent and family Facebook page. I highly encourage you all, if you use Facebook, to get connected with that page. I will put that in the chat. This is also just a great community for you all. We have quite a few folks that are active on this. I love seeing it because parents actually helping parents is great. We have folks that are coming from out of state and they will ask questions. Where do you stay? What do you recommend? What is there to do? Right now, because we are in the summer semester, there's quite a few folks that maybe moved out of the dorms and like, I'm getting rid of this stuff and I don't want it. Does anyone need it for their dorm next year? Uh, there's lots of things that go on. So I do encourage you to get connected with that. We also on our family webpage, and I will put there on the chat and share my screen. So this is where I'm gonna put the main link in the chat. So on the top, under family orientation, up here, and I'm gonna make my screen a little bit shorter. If you go to a smaller view, you see how my menu bar disappeared? You can always click the sandwich bar or the menu bar at the top, and it gives you those same options. But if you click on the family orientation option, go a little bit bigger. On this page is where all of our recordings will be housed and live. So there'll be the family and guest orientation recording. The one we have now is an older one from last year. We did keep it up so folks can still, oh, you can't see this. Let's try to reshare. Oh, okay. Some folks could, I'm gonna try to reshare just to double check. Okay, y'all should be able to see this now. We did do a Can I Afford to Live on Campus with housing, so you can watch the recording there. There was a Finances 101. This we did have our financial aid and our Bursar office available. They do have their recording here if you have time to watch it. And then there was just another housing and dining session. We will be meeting with housing again on August 7th. So anyone that is living on housing or on campus, August 7th, we intentionally do that in August so you all can get your last minute questions asked and answered. So maybe you're not sure what they should bring, maybe you haven't heard about the roommate, whatever it is, that session is really meant for you and your student to attend and get some of those last things that you really need to know about before moving in the following week. So that's going to be again, under the family orientation. We do have our newsletters posted as well. So this will have posted old newsletters and current ones. To sign up for our newsletter, you can always join it, and those will go out monthly. We do only send one summer edition out, and so that will be coming out early July. And then just supporting your student. Again, this will give you access to Link Central. We are actually doing a little bit of a revamp of our website, so there will be more to come on here, but submit a care report, you know, a lot of those things that I had on here are for you as well. So let's see, we've got you on the newsletter, the Facebook. Oh, the last thing that you all should know about is our family advisory board meetings. Every month, in addition to our newsletter, we also have a family advisory board. You can sign up for that by just emailing the family at ucdenver.edu. And those are just monthly Zoom sessions. So we might have Counseling Center come, our Center for Identity and Inclusion. We've had advising come. And it's, again, it's a great spot for you all just to get questions asked, answered, and be part of the community. Let's see, a couple more questions coming in. We have 3 minutes. How long does the roommate selection process last? My daughter doesn't know if she's been selected to room with someone or not. Yes, have her email housing. And they are still going through some of that roommate matching process. So I would suspect by the end of this month, early July, they will know who their roommate is. Yes. Do you know if there's a specific contact person for the CAM program? There is a specific contact person. You are going to want to email Dave. Um, oh my gosh, Dave Walter. But his email is david.walter, and we'll get that and put it in the chat. He should have emailed everyone specifically so that for those folks who don't know what the CAM LLCC program is, that is just a specific housing for CAM majors. So we will get that and put it in the chat, and you can talk with Dave and he'll let you know. Oh, thank you. Yeah, so if you email Dave and if you email Emily, Emily helps coordinating, and they'll be able to let you know what that roommate process looks like. All right, folks, I know that was a lot of information. So as I tell your students, if you have any questions that come up, you can always email at ucdenver.edu, or you can email orientation. We actually check those daily, and we are here to help, and we look forward to seeing you again. I know we'll be seeing you on campus eventually. One more thing, I almost forgot. I want you all to save the date, Family Day 2024. That is going to be in September. That will be the last weekend of September. Haven't quite memorized my September date. September 28th. September 28th, we invite you and your students to Family Day. We will be having brunch on campus. We have a lot of different workshops. One of our departments is going to be setting up a like a field day type thing for folks to just hang out, and you all will get to utilize the wellness center. Last year we were able to have folks do rock climbing on inside, and if you don't do rock climbing, we have lots of games set up. So it is just a fun day for y'all to come and connect with the students and just be on campus. So save your date. We will be letting folks know about this and how to sign up later this summer. All right. Thank you all. Have a great rest of your day, and we will be in touch. Bye.